So let's start this new lesson, and this lesson and the next lesson will be about a very interesting subject, that is neuropersonality. We will enter with this subject in the very core of psychosomatic diseases and the clinical aspect of it. And there is a incredible full references, scientific article about all these subjects that we will not explore to you, but if you want, then you can go through the text and is available on the internet, so you can get more information if you really like it. So the first part of this central role of the 7 emotional system in psychosomatic health and human evolution. Let's start from the beginning. We already saw Jack Pansep, the neuroscientist that discovered the brain 7 main emotional systems. And those are the systems: rage, fear, basic body pleasure, lust, sex on the lower part of the brain, and then passion, play, dreamlike, care, love, and grief, panic on the mammalian brain. This is the cover of one very famous film of Walt Disney, that is Inside Out, and this is representing the whole theory of emotion. Basically, there are 5 emotions. Somebody says more, 6 or 7, but doesn't really matter. Anger, disgust, joy and love, fear and sadness. And they are moving the basic, let's say, energy of inside the brain that moves, the platform that moves everything in our body and life. But something is missing in this theory. We miss our identity, the self. We miss the self-awareness. It's like the story is about a girl that have been driven in his life, in her life, from all of those emotions. But she's not there. And this is a right representation of normal mankind life, in which there is not a center of consciousness. So you get angry, and then you get really pissed off, and then you enjoy, and then you get sad again. And there is not a center that can really decide and choose the way you want to live. So let's introduce the self. We already went through this map, but the self is absolutely important. The self is moving the psychology, that means mind and emotion, and move all the other systems. Let's get into the definition of neuropersonality. Let's remember that in every ancient or modern medical and spiritual and psychological tradition, the people have always tried to synthesize a certain number of personality. Can be the extroverted personality or introverted. Can be the personality of the old China, or the 3 personality, Kapha, Pitta, Vata of Ayurvedic medicine, or the 5 element in the 5 Shen, the 5 souls of Chinese medicine. Or in Greek there was the phlegma, the sadness, the anger, the joy, and so forth. But this is just observation. For the first time, since the beginning of medicine and science, we can see the real center of all these emotions and study them in a very scientific and proper way. It's no more matter just of thinking about of hypotheses about the emotions. We can deal with some real fact. So this neuropersonality is a term that we created because we saw that each of the 7 Panksepp emotional neurosystems are modulated by specific neurotransmitter, and they generate 7 main, even more, but 7 basic neuropersonality. The beautiful thing is that in the past you were or one personality or another one. You have to choose. You cannot be both. In this model, you have all the neuropersonality. And maybe one is prevailing, or maybe 2 are prevailing on the others. But it's a fullness, it's not just a hard choice. So we are dealing with something that is really precious. It's like all our behavior or our experience in life have many aspects, many different, let's say, nuances of like exactly each picture of the world, each thing that we see in the world that is made just out of 7 basic colors. And the world is immense and is changing, every moment is changing. So out of these 7 main neuropersonality, 7 main system of emotion, we can have an incredible variety of emotion, of difference. And let's go and see. We have scientific understanding that those neuropersonality have 2 main, let's say 3, but 2 main origin. One is the genetic origin. Just think about dogs. Dogs are animals that have been selected because some kind of dog is a dog for fighting, is a dog that can help you to sustain and when you have a kind of fear. Some other dogs are chosen because they are so loving and helpful, like Labrador, like Golden Retriever. Some dogs are really sweet. They don't like much to play. They like to lie down with some human being on the sofa and just be quiet. Some other dogs are selected because they were like the dog for sheep's control, that are moving the whole day, very intelligent, very playful. Some dogs are really intelligent. They can help people who cannot see. So they have an incredible capacity to understand. We, like dogs, have all those different neuropersonality. And we can see that this is a genetic stuff. It's like one dog is come out of a certain race and is always like strong or thinny like a Chihuahua. We can change. We are not being selected, so out of each family, a very variety of person, of friend, of sister and brother can grow, and each one have a different shape of the body, of the soul, of the emotions, and this is an incredible. But the same basic genetic component that is a fixed one, you cannot change your body structure, can be adapted to to the environment. So maybe you have a very strong body, but you have grown in a family that was beating you, so you get really introverted and really fearful because somebody was really doing something very bad on you. Or on the contrary, you can take maybe a person that is very sweet and loving, and then through war or through very bad experience of life become very aggressive and very straight. So one side is fixed, the genetic, the other is the normal psychological conditioning, life. And the most important thing is just to consider that each of those neuropersonality have his own qualities, good quality, and resistance. And all those different neuropersonality can get sick for certain specific diseases and can be healed through specific ways. So a good psychosomatic medicine for doctor, for psychology, for educator, teachers, need to understand the nature of people and to follow them and to help them to grow in the better way and to balance their own, let's say, bad pathological effects. Those 7 systems are real psychosomatic systems. So each of those have a physiological, behavioral answer, like a reaction that is coming from the reptilian brain. Every of those emotional have an emotional reaction and a cognitive reaction. So each neuropersonality is really a psychosomatic, complete whole system. And let's see something about the definition of disorder, of blockage of those neuropersonality, or in general of psychosomatic diseases. We define a psychosomatic disorder or blockage, some problem, some sickness that is happening simultaneously on the body, on the emotional, and on the psychological aspect. Basically, we discovered that emotion represent the main cause of all psychosomatic disorder. The main means at least 90% of the problem are happening because there is an imbalancement between emotion, or too activated or underactivated. The psychosomatic disorder are caused by imbalance or low activation or overactivation of one of the function of one of the emotional system. There is always under this kind of blockage or disorder a kind of conflict. It's like a person is really alive, now wants to play and have the playful system really activated, and he is living maybe in a very narrow mind family, or in a very rigid society. So this kind of person will be inhibited on his own natural emotional background. So each disorder is coming out of conflict, usually because the physical instinct and or emotional or psychological. How we discover that a person is have a psychosomatic blockage? Because he loses the pleasure of living. He loses the meaning of life. In Japan they call it ikigai. Ikigai means the sense that the life is worth to be lived. And it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm really happy or I'm sad or there is some diseases. Life is life. There is an inner sense of that. The people who have this kind of disorder, psychological blockage, close their heart, close their body, close their emotional stuff. So they become with no ikigai, no pleasure, no meaning. Yes, we can even we can see that in a medical way, even a psychological. We can recognize the blockage because they alter the sixth main system. They alter the nervous system, so the person is too activated or underactivated. The breathing, so instead of the normal functional breathing, there is too much breath or too less breathing. The breathing is too close. The cardiocirculatory system, so you are too hot, you feel like a fever, the body is swelling, or you feel always cold. And the muscular system is like or too tense or too collapsed. And finally, the gastrointestinal, we saw it the lesson before, like the intestine and the stomach, and this all is reflected on a body posture. So some people are always like that. I'm a winner, I'm a loser, I'm really sad, I don't care, I just nobody wants to see me, or I'm really tense and I'm moving like this. So people can get a specific body posture that is evident to the people, and by see that posture we can understand his problem or her problem. Let's say we will see through the lesson that each neuropersonality have some function, and if you block that function, then there is a organ or target function. It's like this specific, let's say, a person that really likes to love, if he doesn't have love, the whole part that usually is implicated in a loving relationship, like smile, heart, hugging, is getting like this. All this part is getting tense, closed. So we will see that is very interesting and important. So let's see the map in a very precise way. So we remember that we already said that this part of the map is under the passive system, the relaxation of the parasympathetic system. This part is the part that contains all the emotional system in the brain and in the neocortex, and the hormones and neurotransmitter that are activating the strong and active sympathetic system. In this part, we saw that we have shown the system that are basically under the reptilian, the more ancient region of the brain. In this part, the green, the mammalian, the emotional, the relational emotions, and in this part the two hemispheres of the upper brain that are leading to science and arts and all this rational or intuitive understanding of life. When the whole system are in a way balanced, they are functional. So when is the time to get to have fear, maybe there is some real danger, then fear can be really helpful. If there is a time in which maybe I get some aggressive situation, then I can defend myself. There is the time for sex, there is the time for relaxation. So each of those systems, when they are harmonic to each other, are the base ground of health, of a global psychosomatic state of well-being. If they are not, and when they are in harmony, the self is at the center. So the self is me, and I live my life in all the colors, all the shape, all the movement of life. And in each moment, I'm functional to that moment. And sometimes somebody is dying and I'm crying, and this is the right moment to cry, or whatever it is. So not just good moments, even bad moments. But many times the people are not being recognized as a self, as a real deep love and understanding, or they have been get into too much fear, or too much aggressivity, or too much affectivity, some hyper attentive mothers, or too much play. So they get out of this, and this second rings, this second sphere, is the sphere of the neuropersonality that are getting rigid, not functional. And so a person is not getting upset in certain moment. He or she is getting always upset. He's getting always too dominant, strong, reactive, or too much passive, insecure, close, or too much ambitious or playful, or too much passive, timid, shy, or too much rigid in the mind. So the third, out of this second ring, the people can go even more on the pathological path, getting away from the self, losing the self. He loses control, he loses his mind, he loses himself. And then here we have the pathological, psychiatric problems. So let's go through the first basic information and system about the body and the reptilian brain. First of all, the body pleasure system. That should be our background. We should feel in each moment of life just to enjoy life as it is. This is modulated by serotonin that is secreted in connection with physical pleasure, like when we eat, food, sleep, sex, physical strength, sports, relaxation. When you work even hard, maybe you do a game and you are really engaged and you just you breathe, you make a lot of effort, but it's really good, you feel fantastic there. So serotonin is there. If you just run with your headphone, not feeling the body pleasure, you don't produce serotonin. There is a lot of physical effort and no serotonin at all. The serotonin is the relaxed energy, but is even the mother relaxed energy. Mothers with a good serotonin are good mothers. They really take the kids in such a way that is really, let's say, the kids feel secure, feel protected, feel pleasure in his body or her body. And so most of our mother doesn't have this kind of empathy or feeling in the body, the pleasure in the body. Serotonin can adapt to many different situations. Let's see some of those situations. Let's say first, if the body pleasure is inhibited, then we have low body sensitivity. We call it anhedonia. Is when you don't feel the pleasure to eat, to drink, to sleep, to make love, to work, to live in the body. Is a very common diseases. So it's normal for most of us just live in this space, and we don't consider this low body pleasure like a very strong disease. When there is this inhibition, the serotonin level are getting very low, and this is the basic point for depression, mood swing, insomnia, eating disorder. We have many body therapy many energy therapy that can balance and repristinate this feeling to be alive and happy in your body. Just let's see a short list of all the psychiatric or psychological disorder caused by a serotonin with a low level of serotonin. Depression, stress, mood disorder, insomnia, panic attack, food disorder, people that eat so much because eating gives them a little more serotonin but they don't feel the pleasure, obsessive compulsive disorder, anhedonia. And this is reflected on a body, on a heart, and on our mind. So let's see just, we go very shortly about that. Just to have a good body contact, let's say in the beginning with the mother, but maybe in life with parents, with friends, with lovers. Just the touching our body is a meaningful instrument, a therapeutic instrument for medicine and psychology. Let's just see that Tiffany Field is the director of the Department of Pediatric University of Miami, and she did a lot of research on this touch therapy. Very easy to learn. You just need to touch, you just need to feel your body and your heart. And just this massage, this empathetic contact, reduce aggressive behavior and decrease the cortisol, 30% less cortisol. That is reducing the stress effect of 30%, is a lot. And paralleling is increasing serotonin of the 30%. And dopamine, that is, we will see soon, the molecule of joy and life. So it improves growth and development of infants, postpartum depression, hyperactivity. The mothers who doesn't have this serotonin grow children with that start their own life with a kind of stress, hyperactivity, difficulty to get asleep, tension, and it have been used, this touch therapy in post-traumatic stress disorder in children, in people, have been used for improving relaxation and performance in university student, and many other. You will get through if you want. Let's see a parallel system to the pleasure system. That is the fear submission system. Panksepp discovered this system that is a very basic system. The fear system is an alarm system. Every time an animal or a human being is feeling to be in danger or feel pain or aggression or anything, then amygdala is activating the axis, the stress axis, and is activating the fear system. The fear system is basically, we can see these two dogs. This is full of power and anger and testosterone, and the other one of fear, submission. And this is happening between many social animals, like wolves, but many times it happens between men and women. And is a very ancient, the fear system, way of protecting yourself. And of course, this animal or people, if they stay too much time in the fear system, they become fear people. So the fear becomes a rigid, dysfunctional structure of neuropersonality. And this is leading to terrific situation as far as psychosomatic is concerned, psychological and medical. The cortisol neuropersonality create this process. The fear is creating this problem, this reaction of harm avoidance. So when people get too much into this stress, fear, they get a low testosterone. Testosterone means anger, reactivity, so they don't react. And it's like the avoiding personality that is normally in psychological, is the Freudian masochistic person, is an avoiding personality that tends to escape from every possible situation in which there is a higher level of emotional or activity. No, he's getting back. He's getting to a kind of introversion. So we see that the cortisol neuropersonality, the fear submission neuropersonality, is very much linked to inhibition of action. So the state of stress, and that becomes a chronic stress, a very long term. Sometimes it takes the whole life, always in tension and in stress. And let's see how the mother stress, the mother fear is very, very important because it's one of the main cause of epigenetic factors. Let's see, this is a picture of what Lowen, that is a famous psychotherapist, says is the personality, the masochistic character. And this is exactly the same shape, is a person with Cushing syndrome, that is a syndrome in which a tumor in the adrenal gland secrete too much cortisol. So this is coming like this because he is a fearful person, this one because have a disease. So one is a genetic cause, one is another reason. This kind of people have many tension. There is an armor, there is a defense in the body and in the tension, with much digestive block. The chest is always rigid, it doesn't breathe, low amplitude of the breath. Sometimes they don't look inside your eyes, they are always like looking down. That is a submission attitude. And let's see, the cortisol, one of the main cortisol disorder, cortisol neuropersonality disorder, is what the psychologists call alexithymia. Is the difficulty to see, to feel, and to express your feeling, your emotion. So the person is really blocked in the heart and in the throat. He doesn't recognize sometimes, or if he or she recognizes, he is not able to express. He doesn't have any word. It's like to say, so how are you doing? You don't feel good? No, it's okay, ma'am. Nothing comes out. And they have very much sense of guilt. Of course, they don't recognize their own strong energy, the power of their own energy. This is called a type C personality or cancer-prone personality. Those people have been shown through many research done on a lot of people. They tend to develop cancer. There is a correlation between cancer and anger inhibition. So those people that inhibit anger, they are much more prone to have this kind of cardiovascular disease and cancer. The effect of high level of cortisol from pregnancy. So if the mother is in this fear system, The mother reduces the wellness of the fetus and of the future newborn in a very, very long way. He's creating very, very bad. You see, these are all important information. Then if you want, you can get through and you see them. Just see the Dutch famine in the 44. After the war, in this year, 18,000 people, Dutch people, died. And the epidemiologists have shown that the children that have been grown and born in this time have a lot increased the risk of obesity, hypertension, diabetes, psychiatric disorder, schizophrenia, and depression. So to cure the mother is really important, and we can do a lot of work on that. Yes, I mean, this on the contrary, when you do meditation or mindfulness, then you change in positive your mood, and if you are a mother, you change the mood of your fetus and of the newborn. So we can really change the direction from fear to a different kind of life and vision. The fear is something, before to go into the experience of direct experience, let's say a few more words, because fear have been the basic emotion from the human history. Human history is basically the history of wars or conflict, of this an incredible sufferance and pain in so many human beings. No laws, no democracy, no education, no human rights. And even now that we have a chart of human rights, then many nations doesn't apply that, doesn't recognize that. So we have an old memory of fear, and the fear is getting close. Takes our body, mind, emotion, and heart close in reaction, in a very suspect way. And we can really change this old pattern. We can really change the vision. And when there is the time to have fear, then we will have fear and we'll try to escape or to do something. But it's really not necessary to live in this space. This is a big, important situation. So let's try to see the fear in our body and the block. We go a little deeper than in the last experience we did, the last session. And so let's go for it. Very well. So now let's get into an inner space and let's explore all the information we said before inside ourselves, in our direct experience. Let's close our eyes. And gently feel your body breathing. And now just have a little stretch of your spine. Get your breath free. Open your chest. Get your arm stretched. Your shoulder. Sometimes we think a lot and we lose body contact. We lose the consciousness of the body pleasure. So we study the body pleasure and the fear system. Let's feel a little more the pleasure of the body. And just remember that if there is no air, or if the air is polluted, or there is something wrong in it, or if someone is closing your mouth and your nose, in 5 minutes we die. Air is a very precious element. Feel the air as a stream of gas, of energy, coming in, getting out, and feel the pleasure of breathing. It's a subtle pleasure. It's not like eating an ice cream. It's very subtle, but it's continuing the whole life. Very good. And now let's take more attention to the breath in the head, going inside, going outside, and just feel the whole head breathing, kind of a balloon inflating and relaxing. Very little movement. It's okay even if you don't feel it in the beginning, sometimes you don't. Open your mouth, relax your throat. Open your chest and feel the breath in the chest, in the heart. Feel all the breath in your arm, all through your hands. And now, just feel your belly breathing. Belly is like a balloon in front, on the back side, the lower side when we are seated. And the upper part is the diaphragm muscle. It's really like a curved muscle. And it's so simple just to feel the breath in your belly. Let's get a little more into that space and mood as we were getting asleep, or just a little nap. No need to control. Every breath, the heart breathing, the chest, the belly. And just lose all tensions, the muscle, the spine, the legs, your mouth, your face, let's imagine that we could live in this harmonious way. I stayed in India for 3 years and a half, and I saw hundreds, thousands of people in the country, in poor villages, just living like that, in a very poor but relaxed way, with the heart open, no stress, simple life. Okay, now let's imagine that in a moment of life we were maybe kids or young people, and all of a sudden something happened, and there is a danger, a car accident, some fire, we fall from the stairs or whatever it is, or some people coming inside, some parents getting back and becoming angry, or some teachers really getting upset with us. And all of a sudden, from this normal state of consciousness, we are getting into the fear system. And the fear system is the same we experience, the stress state. And just let's see what is really happening in one specific part of the body. Let's point our attention to the eyes and to the front. And just imagine when you are engaging in something that is dangerous, you have to escape, there is something wrong, you have fear, somebody is getting really aggressive on you, or somebody wants to beat you or is beating you, and you are getting into that, wow, I cannot do anything, but I would like really to be strong and to react, but maybe I cannot. Just watch, the whole body is getting tense. But let's see and feel our eyes. What is really happening with your eyes? Usually the whole muscle around the eyes are getting tense. And there is a hormone, the noradrenaline hormones and neurotransmitter, that is getting really high on your body and in your brain, and is keeping you in a space of strong attention, concentration. Be careful, be attentive, stay on the point. And there is a kind of concentration of the two eyes, of the attention, of the control. What is happening? What should I do? Thinking. What is the best way to react? And just let's watch this tension. We could watch the throat, the blockage of the shoulder, the heart, the stomach, the legs sometimes. But let's just see one piece of the whole psychosomatic network. And this is very important. So let's try to get back into the pleasure system by using this mindfulness psychosomatic practice. Let's ask, don't change anything. Remain in the space of tension, but just watch. Just see this tension. So many times we experience the tension in our body. Just get in a space of being one even with your tension. to accept. And then you can learn how to get in a space where all these muscles, all this nervous system get more relaxed. Feel your whole body breathing. Wow. And learn how to get into the problem and to get in a space where the problem can be solved, can be released. Open your heart and let's stay 1 minute just feeling all body breathing. Instead of thinking and concentrating on the wrong situation, let's just learn how to feel the wholeness of ourselves. And try to learn how to feel your chest more open and your space inside your heart breathing normally, gently. And your belly too. And this kind of situation, when we are in the fear, let's remember that the old paradigm is based on control and fear. One person, the emperor, the king, the president, but most of the time were a dictator, was commanding, judging, ruling so many people that were in a fear. And we do something like that in our mind too. Let's change the pattern. Let's create another pattern in ourselves. And from the fear system, let's go back to the pleasure, body pleasure system. Wow, very well. And if the lesson now will finish, you eventually can stay a little longer in this space. Maybe you can even lie down and enjoy this space of quiet energy, silence, peaceful mood. Very good. If you cannot stay, you can open your eyes, and then we will see in the next lessons.